Guys, what can I say? This is a series that there's really not a bad entry, but we're going to try to rank the bad boys from worst to best. What's going on, people? My name is Alex Thorn, and I'm just a rock and roller who in his downtime likes to watch movies while wearing a bandana. And this time we are ranking the Bad Boys franchise starring Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. These two guys were a staple in my childhood. Fresh Prince and Martin TV show were on my TV every single night. And when these two guys got together to make a movie and went balls out on cursing and shooting guns and all that action and all that stuff going on, I lost it. So with all that being said, let's get to the official ranking of Bad Boys. At the number 4 spot, I'm gonna give Bad Boys for Life Part 3 the 4th spot. By no means is it a terrible movie. Is it dumpster fire? Absolutely not. But there are a lot of things about this movie that make it the last in this ranking. The biggest being Martin himself, because he barely is in this movie. And when I say he's barely in this movie, I mean, yeah, he's on the screen, but he's not doing anything. Will carries this film about 80% of the way, while Ammo does the other 20%. And I wouldn't even give Martin any action props whatsoever. He's really barely doing anything, and that brings it down because you just expect him to at least do, 40%, 30% of the load, but he just does so little. The other problem with the movie is you can clearly tell they're trying to introduce a new team to us called Ammo and move aside the Bad Boys, which is a bad deal because they make somebody in this movie tougher than Will himself, which is his own son. But Armando is played in this movie very Hollywood-esque. It just doesn't come across great. You can also tell that Michael Bay is not directing this one. It's just not there. And there's a lot of movies about this movie that are not there. And because of that, it lands on the 4th spot in this ranking as the worst Bad Boys in this franchise. Coming up in the 3rd spot, I can't believe I'm saying this, but the original Bad Boys from 1995. As I said in the intro of this video, Will Smith and Martin Lawrence were a staple in my household. They still remain a staple today. So to see them doing all the cool shit that they did in Bad Boys and talk the way they did, cut it up the way they did, was just awesome. And then you have so many memorable scenes. Will Smith running slowly, Martin Lawrence playing the part of Will Smith, being braggadocious and trying to do all that stuff when he's a family man. Let's not forget about Téa Leoni, who was a great balance between the two. Every time she was on screen, she did really good. The story was great. The explosive ending to that movie was great, the climax. But because of the brand new movie, I have to put the original Bad Boys in the 3rd spot of this franchise ranking. Coming up at number 2 is the brand new Ride or Die Bad Boys 4. Man, the directors of Part 3 that just, you can tell they wanted to be Michael Bay, but they couldn't quite do it. They added their own flair a little bit. Speaking of Michael Bay, he does make a cameo in this movie along with Tiffany Haddish, a couple of TikTokers, and DJ Khaled. The directing duo of Part 3 comes back here and does like 80% of their own style and 20% of Michael Bay, and this time it works because it's so impressive. You just cannot get away from how good they masked his age, but also how well they respected this franchise and added their own flavor. Bad Boys Ride or Die is a must own, and it lands on the number 2 spot of this franchise ranking. Coming in at number 1 is my favorite Bad Boys, Bad Boys 2. I mean, from the moment this movie starts, it is explosive and it never lets up. With all of the bombs, this is full 100% Michael Bay at his best, in my opinion. There's a chase scene on the highway where the bad guys, the Haitians, are literally letting cars go off the back of a tow truck. And Martin and Will, Marcus and Mike have to dodge that. Not only do they have to dodge that, but they're also trying to keep Marcus's sister, Gabrielle Union, safe, who does an amazing job coming in here. She's somebody that not only do they want, but the heel, the bad guy in the movie wants. Johnny Tapia. Johnny Tapia has personality. Johnny Tapia has a family. Johnny Tapia does his own thing in this movie to where you can remember his first and last name. I don't remember the first and last name of the bad guy in part 1. I don't remember the first and last name of the bad guy in part 4 that I just watched. But Johnny Tapia, I remember his first and last name. So he did a good job. There's so many cool things, from the intro with the KKK to the bombastic ending and the amount of explosions and houses being exploded, cars breaking through homes in Cuba, going downhill, a minefield. One of the most perfect action movies I've ever seen, along with the brand new Bad Boys Ride or Die. So Bad Boys 2 is the best Bad Boys according to Alex Thorn and Thorn Theater Reviews. Guys, how do you rank the Bad Boys series? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Down below, I want to know, because Martin and Will play such a huge role in my upbringing, that they play a huge role in my son's upbringing. I love this series. To me, this is better than Lethal Weapon. I know, sacrilegious, but it is. So guys, talk to me down below. Let me know, how do you rank this series? Which one is your favorite? Are you thinking about watching the brand new Bad Boys Ride or Die? And if you do, guess what? Talk to me about that too, because the review is up right now. And if you want to get access to reviews early, like when we go and review the next franchise that I just reviewed in my community post, you can join this channel. That's right. We've got 2 membership tiers, for Plus and Ultimate. And for both tiers, you're going to get stuff like exclusive shorts, polls to help the direction of the future of this channel, exclusive behind the scene posts, as well as if you join the Ultimate tier, you get to request your own reviews. You get to join exclusive lives that are only for members. You get your own real membership card mailed out to you, laminated just like the good old days. And guess what? If you don't feel like committing to that, you can also leave a super chat, super thanks down below, or you can go head over to Buy Me a Coffee. That gets me through. I need coffee. So go ahead. I'm going to leave that right there. And one of the coolest things about Buy Me a Coffee is that when you do decide to do that, or you leave a tip, you can also leave a note. And when you do that, I can reply directly back to you via video form. That's right. That's a new thing that Buy Me a Coffee has enabled creators like me to do. And I want to be able to do that. And thank you guys for supporting small channels like Thorn Theater. Beyond that, you know what I gotta do. I gotta rock out so I can watch some movies, review them, rank them, and release a new single for you that's coming out soon.